morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever and wherever you will. I'll go back to the beta plan playing Shadowrun. Last time we left off, we ended after a cutscene. And where we learned that prosperity is not so per se Kowloon City itself, but something that was built within Kowloon City by our foster father, Edward Tsang. The man we knew as Raymond Black has apparently much more of a dark, sinister history, because it was not just his mother that apparently has, destroyed the city. I began to think that all the blame is to be put upon this man. Your mind wrenches, inverts, and then violently jerks back into your skull. Your stomach cramps hard, and then the taste of bile burns your throat. A thin trickle of cold sweat slides down the small of your back, and your eyes refuse to focus. Your crew fares no better. Govets pulls herself from the floor, madness and folly squeaking weirdly in the folds of her clothing. Isabel grips a railing. We're back to the group, retching silently. Rector leans against Koshai, his face ashen, staring at the ceiling. He blinks rapidly, processing. Kaiju stands perfectly still in the center of the car, hands at his sides, his face impassive. Perhaps he is not affected because of his condition. Wu breathes deeply, his hands on his knees. That wasn't a dream. He shakes his head like a lion's mane and spits on the floor. That was something else. Gavet's breathing is shallow. She's covered in a thin sheet of sweat. It was a vision. I saw some sort of machine inside the walled city. Isabel turns, squinting in concentration. Her lips are white. It was churning something. It felt wrong. Impossible. I think it was ripping, I don't know, reality. Or girl shudders. It was ripping a hole in reality. Something in here, my friends, something has arrived. I believe we have just fallen in over our heads. So he did see it. Wu straightens up, drawing the back of his wrist across his mouth. What the hell was that, Raymond? No answer. Wu spins to find Raymond, cowering, his head in his hands, shuddering and weeping. She's here. What the hell is going on? She's here. The queen with 1,000 teeth. Okay, that's not good. I remember the scene that, everybody's teeth were pulled out. Raven rocks in place, hugging himself, staring past you at someone only he can see. I left prosperity in there. 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 Uh-oh. Looks like Raymond's gone bye-bye. Shh, Gavet. Isabel whispers her admonishment. Snap my fingers in front of him? No. Squeeze him gently. My name pulled him out of that machine, more or less. Let's try that again. Take it easy, Raymond. You're with me, Quinn. The old man looks at you as if he's seeing you for the first time. What? Quinn. You came. Raymond blinks his eyes open. His voice is weak, hesitant, disconnected somehow. Are we in this subway? The right corner of his mouth twitches noticeably. Why is he stuttering? He is not. I use a stutter, and it doesn't sound like a stutter to me. Something else is going on. Could be the visions. Could be the aborted brain surgery, or some combination of the two. Something bad is happening. Began a long time ago, and I'm responsible. His eyes open wide. The queen. Prosperity. The queen with 1,000 teeth. These dreams, these visions, they've been coming to you for a long time, haven't they? Yes, oh yes. I've been plagued by the nightmares for a long, long time. Raymond's lips start to tremble. They began years ago. Sporadically at first, fake dreams, wrapped tight with guilt, with shame. Raymond's eyes roll back in the head as he closes them tight, until this last year when he searched for the word, the frequency began to increase. Then the imagery clarified, started to repeat. Teeth. Thousands and thousands of teeth. He sways for a moment dizzy, and the sound of the suffering, began to drown out even my waking thoughts. That's when I knew I had to come back. The truth, Raymond. Why did your mother have you kidnapped? Why try to erase your memory? To stop me from correcting a mistake. Mistake I made long time ago. He puts a hand out and he steadies himself on Wu's arm. My fault. Prosperity. All those people. Those poor, poor people. The Prosperity Project? Shame eclipsed the old man's face. You know about prosperity? Oh my man, yeah. Sort of. Wu tones gets a little sharper. We already covered this, Raymond. We know that it's in the center of the walled city and that Edward Tsang built it. Why don't you start at the beginning, Raymond? Tell us all what it's all about. The beginning. Sometime in the 20s, my mother was awarded he searched for the word, the contract. The contract to rebuild the housing development, the walled city. Well, from the result, I'd say your mother kinda blew it. Prosperity failed. No, Gobbet, he already explained that was not prosperity. Frustration appears in the old man's tired face. I told you, the walled city wasn't the prosperity project. See, Gobbet, listen to me. Prosperity was the fortune engine I built at the center of the walled city. My special project. Fortune engine? What are you talking about? Wu sneers. You can't create fortune, Raymond. You kinda can, Gancho. Some practitioners of Feng Shui believe that he can do it. Ever heard of the Bagua of the 8 aspirations? Wu looks at Gobbet flatly. No gut. I must have skipped school that day. Me too. I don't want to skip it now. No, wait, you know what? Keep going, Gobbet. I want to hear this. Gobbet wrinkles her nose at Wu. It's Neo-Feng Shui. The masters of the craft can map the flow of Qi and how it corresponds to different aspects in someone's life. Fame, relationship, creativity, inner knowledge, health, and fortune. And fortune. That's 6. I thought you said there were 8 aspects. The little orc shrugs. I don't remember the other 2. Well, one of them was definitely fortune. She looks sidelong at Raymond. So what does Fortune Engine do? The Fortune Engine was designed to improve the balance of Qi in a negative Qi environment. A negative Qi environment? Somewhere shitty. Like a slum. Raymond corrects her. Like a low-income housing project. I believe that with the Fortune Engine, the rebuilt walled city might never become a slum. He drifts off for a moment, remembering. Then he squeezes his eyes shut and lowers his head. But the machine malfunctioned. How do you know to create magical machines, Ray? I thought you were an industrial engineer. Actually, I want to ask that question. I am. I also have several advanced degrees, doctorates in physics, Taoist alchemy. The old man shrugs shakily. My mother pushed me hard to reach my potential. Wu stares at him blankly. A doctorate in magic? Great. Something else we didn't know about you. You guys can work for your family secrets later. Isabel leans in and speaks gently to Raymond. How did the machine malfunction? The mechanism I created to circulate negative Qi in the walled city. He brings a liver-spotted hand to his mouth. It got stuck. Stuck on what? Raymond rises slowly, pulling himself from his crumpled heap. His tone turns instructive, the old Raymond, but this time his explanation is halting and wary. Think of the Fortune Engine as a sort of propeller blade moving through astral space, circulating Qi, keeping it. He hunts for the word fresh. When the Qi flows, when the rhythm is right, the results are positive, fortuitous. When I brought my design for the Fortune Engine to my mother, she embraced it. He exhales. She more than embraced it. She bankrolled it. put the entire division of Sang Mechanical under me to develop it. Sounds like a big bad. Raymond nods rapidly. The biggest of her career. Mother said that if the machine could bring fortune to the less fortunate, it would prove my theory. And it could help the poor. Imagine what a fortune engine could do for Josephine Sang. Wu clenches jaws, clenches. But that's not what happened, was it? Something went wrong. The people in the walled city didn't benefit from your fortune engine, did they, Raymond? The old man bows his head, doesn't answer. Yeah, that's kind of clear, Duncan. Raymond, why didn't your fortune engine work? It got stuck. He doesn't raise his head. The mechanism I created to circulate negative key in the walled city got stuck. You can see Wu's patience blowing away like autumn leaves in the high wind. He rubs his head visually in frustration. Stuck on what, Raymond? The old man gets a confused look on his face. His lips move silently for several moments. Wu leans in close, drops to a whisper, seethes in his foster father's face. Stuck on what? Raymond winces as Wu stones and stumbles back a step, but it does the job and the old man focuses. There's something in astral space. I wasn't sure what. That sounds bad. The machine started pulling negative key. The old man's breathing begins to accelerate, and the whole city started to fill with it. Fortunes turned bad. I've been in places where the feng shui was really bad. That's not what I felt when I was in a walled city. No, key needs to flow. Eventually, the enormous pool of negative key became toxic. Fortunes turned from bad to worse. Much worse. Raymond's shoulders slump. Should articulate properly. Mother's vision for rebuild revitalized. Walled city fell to a ruin. It only took a few years for the toxic key to turn a brand new housing development into a hellish slum. Why didn't you turn the frickin' thing off? I couldn't. Something happened. Part of the malfunctioning. But we couldn't turn it off. And why didn't you blow it up? Wrap it in C6 and turn it into a scrap heap. Mother refused. What? Wu Stones turns icy cold. Why? I never found out. She wouldn't tell me. She would only say that it wasn't worth spending the additional resources to figure out how to fix it, or even how to turn it off. Words start spilling out of the old man. She sealed out the maintenance room. Our engineers poured a sarcophagus of thick concrete around it, so no one would ever find it, ever find out what we had done. Then she wrote the project off as a business loss and moved on like nothing had ever happened. Right? Yes. His face flushed and his fidgets with the gorgeous bandage on his head. After that, I left Hong Kong, started a new life in Seattle. Found you too. You should have stayed. Try to do something about it. Wu grins is disappointed. You were a coward, Raymond. Yes. Raymond stands up straight, taking a shaky step towards Wu. Yes, Duncan. I was a coward. And the guilt, the burden of my cowardice gripped me like a vice that never loosened. It's eaten me from the inside for 20 years. He licks his lip, tries to breathe, and then the nightmares began. Horrible. Still, I kept working on the problem night and day. So did you ever figure out how to stop it? It took me years, even after you left, to make the connections, find what to do. But I did. I figured it out, and still the nightmares intensified until they became unbearable. I knew I had to come back, fix what I had done. That's why I contacted you, to help me see it through. Wu mumbles something, but all you can make out is the word coward. What about the rip in reality we saw in our vision? Raymond's voice flattens. When the machine malfunctions, when the circulatory became stuck in astral space, it lodged in another domain. He sways and his lips begin to tremble, and something lived there. Not good. The old man begins to drift, and 20 years of constant force. The circulatory finally began tearing astral space, created a rupture in her domain. He begins rocking in this place. Now she's pushing through. Now she's pushing through. She's pushing through. Yeah, she's pushing through, alright. Who snarls at his foster father? The queen of a fucking thousand teeth. And a thing you brought here, Raymond. Raymond stops his rocking, becomes fully lucid. He snaps back at Wu. I understand that, Mr. Wu. That's why I came back. I believe she's only partially here. She hasn't pushed all the way through yet. She's probing her new hunting ground. Must. The emotional strain of the snap at Wu rattles him again. I know what to do now. How to extract the circulatory, shut the machine down before she can fully manifest. Just get me to the center of the walled city, to the fortune engine. I will do the rest. Please help me. Help them. Not the first one. Because I was never too keen with the whole kid thing. Remember? That's not how Quinn Liangyu is. Duncan's right, there's a thing there that needs to be sent home. These visions are turning my guts inside out. I need to stop them. Also, there's a serious revenue source for the Triads. If we fix this, Connie Ching is going to shower us in gold. The machine has caused some unspeakable misery. I need it to be shut down. Duncan's right, there's a thing in there that needs to be sent home. I'm actually with my brother on this one. The little dicker eyes open wide, more white than iris. Her breathing becomes faster, shallower. It's not just a thing, Deathclaw, it's a Yama King. A demon goddess. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go back in there. We're trapped we can't run, and believe me, I want to. That's all I've been thinking of. The red shaman's shoulder rises with tension. But the APB is still out on us in those visions. I got a feeling they're not gonna stop unless we make them stop. And that fragile old man, that's the only way to do it. We've got to take him in there, we gotta help him fix this. I for one wish to see this fortune engine. I'm intrigued. Dr. Spill's eyes glint. I willingly go. Yeah, you master psychopath. I'm not surprised. Gaishu's face remains impassive, but his eyelids lowered in anticipation. I have the opportunity to kill a god. Oh, sorry, that was a bit of rector there. I have the opportunity to kill a god. I cannot allow the opportunity to pass unanswered. I hate this country. I hate his life. Wu sets his jaw and hooks his thumbs into his belt. He stares evenly at Raymond, his voice cold. But I owe you, Raymond. I'm not walking away from that. I intend to make us even. I'll help you fix your mess, or die trying. Alright, and with that, I say thank you for watching, and remember, great peril yields great beauty.